Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Asad Yaqub here, and this video is for those who are weak in IELTS listening, those who listen to audios of IELTS listening test, and these audios seem to be French, Spanish, German, Italian, or worst, Chinese. Okay, they think in part 3 English becomes Chinese and they do not understand, so this video is for them. Don't worry, okay? And I have made this video upon the request of my students, especially in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. I received many messages from Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Africa. So guys, this video is for those who are weak in IELTS listening, but they have dreams to go to a foreign country and, earn a lot of money, dollars, pounds, and all that, okay? As far as IELTS listening is concerned, let's just go through it step by step. The first thing is you need to tune your ears to English. In order to tune your ears to English, you need to listen to English. You may listen to English through podcasts, through TV channels, through YouTube videos. You can listen to radio in English. Like in my country, we have FM 89. FM 89 is English radio channel, right? So you can see if there is any radio channel in English. bbcenglish.com. There they have several audios. So you need to listen to the audios and tune your ears. Once you tune your ears, you will get used to English. How to get used to English? If you listen to English for 30-40 minutes, you should have enough patience to still like English language. Okay, this is very important. Now, once your ears are tuned in, you start to understand English, and when it comes to listening, you do not have to understand 100%. Let me tell you, in IELTS listening, there is the audio of 25 minutes. Out of that 25-minute audio, you just have to focus and clearly understand 40 sentences. And those 40 sentences in 25-minute audio will give you all 40 answers. So it's as simple. Now, how to do it? IELTS listening is step-by-step listening. Listening part 1 is basic. Listening part 2 is intermediate. Listening part 3 is upper intermediate. Listening part 4 is advanced. The first thing. There are two types of audios in IELTS listening. One is social, second is educational. So try to listen to some general English in social context. Now that social context you will find in different seasons you may watch. You can find such social conversations there. Secondly, in English movies, you will find such social conversations in English movies, right? You can watch them. Seasons are good enough. So for social is listening part 1 and part 2. For this, you can depend on movies, you can depend on seasons and all that. After that, we have listening part 3 and part 4. Listening part 3 is especially educational, where one student is discussing his or her coursework with the tutor or with another student. Okay. Now, when we reach IELTS listening part 3, there is a shift from social to educational. So when there is this shift, students get confused. And actually, the things which they discuss in listening part 3, these things usually come at university level, and at intermediate level, students are not familiar with such type of things like dissertation and all that. So at intermediate level, students are not familiar with such type of things like dissertation, proposal, presentation, final project and all that. So these things become difficult. For listening part 3, I would advise you to watch some videos where students are discussing their work. And you can easily find such type of videos on YouTube. Or for this, it's a good idea to actually watch some educational videos where students are interviewing one another. You can watch some interview videos. Yes, they will help you. Educational interviews where one person is actually interviewing another one on any course, on any educational thing and all that, right? So that is going to help you with that. After that, we have listening part 4, and listening part 4, there is a lecture which you will have to attend and answer the questions, and these lectures are based on science, research and all that, right? For listening part 4, I strongly recommend TED Talk. TED Talk is good for listening part 4. For listening part 4, what you can do, whatever the topic in your listening part 4 is, type in that topic on YouTube or in YouTube search and you will find article. For example, the other day I was solving a test in IELTS listening and part 4 was about elephant translocation. Now I typed elephant translocation in YouTube and I found a wonderful video. In listening, your imagination will help you reach the answer and find the answer. So I'm telling you, you need to start it from very basic level and then gradually you will go on and on and on and on. So this is one thing. Second, now we come to IELTS listening. You have improved your basic listening. Now you want to do IELTS listening. IELTS listening part 1 is very simple, very basic, as simple as numbers, as simple as spelling, alphabet. Right? In part 1, they will expect you to catch the alphabet and write it down. They will expect you to catch the number. So it starts with part 1 and part 1 is going to prepare you for part 2. So, if you are not comfortable with part 2, when you start your IELTS preparation, I advise you to do part 1 only. Cambridge IELTS books, tests 1, 2, 3, 4, part 1 only. Book 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, part 1 only. Book 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, part 1 only. Once you are getting 10 by 10 in part 1, you will start to understand English, you will develop good understanding of the questions and the dialogues. It means you are ready for part 2. IELTS listening part 2 is an audio commentary where mostly one person talks and you have to listen and answer the questions. Now, initially when you're going to reach part 2, you will find it hard, you will find it difficult, but gradually, because the questions that you're going to come across, they are multiple choice, they are matching, they are maps. So gradually you will find your way, and I advise you not to go to listening part 3 until or unless you are getting 10 by 10, 9 by 10, 8 by 10 in part 2. Once you start getting average 8 correct answers in part 2, that is the right time to move to part 3. And again, once you're going to reach part 3, you will be shocked. You will start to think that I don't understand anything, because part 3 is educational. Part 2 is social. Part 1 is social. But gradually, you can do that, and whatever the topic in part 3 is, at times you can key in the topic in YouTube search and you can find something relevant and you can watch that. Because for listening, your imagination, if whatever you listen, you imagine, you will understand that. You know, grandma's stories. So those stories, when children before going to bed, they used to listen to the stories with their eyes closed, and grandma started, once upon a time there was a bad wolf. Now you imagine bad wolf, okay? So I used to tell these stories to my children, and many of the stories I created on my own and my kids liked, because that was the bedtime stories, and like their eyes were closed and they imagined whatever I said. My words actually turned into illustrations or images, and they enjoyed. So if in listening words turn into images, you will have no problem at all, okay? So you need to do that. In part 3, initially you may get 4 correct answers, 3 correct answers. You will play guess game in part 3, because in part 3 we have multiple choice questions, we have matching type of questions. So you will say, okay, answer is A, okay, answer is C, okay, answer is B. Why B? Because previously I selected A, okay? And why D? D is in the middle, okay? So you will have such type of things, but then gradually you will start to understand. And along with this, if you solve some listening tests with me from my YouTube channel, or I have prepared a crash course for listening where there are some private lessons on IELTS listening along with the handouts, that will help you a lot, right? So if you want to get that, you can contact me on WhatsApp, and that is also available at a little administrative cost. So once you reach part 3, for example, book 11 test 1 part 3, book 11 test 2 part 3, book 11 test 3 part 3, now complete part 3, and once you start getting 7 to 8 average correct answers, especially if your target band is 7, 8 or 9, right? 8 correct answers, 9 correct answers. Initially, you will start with 2 to 3 correct answers, I'm telling you. So once your average is good, now is the time to move to part 4. Once you reach part 4, you will not be shocked. You will realize part 4 and part 1, they are somewhat similar, because part 1 is one word and or a number, and part 4 is also one word only or one word and or a number. But the difference is, in part 1 there is a dialogue, and part 4 there is actually a lecture, okay, delivered by a single person. So again, what is written before the blank, it is going to help you understand. And if you solve some listening test part 4 with me, you'll be ready. I have made a complete video on my YouTube channel where I only cover part 4. You will find part 4 from 5-6 tests, and there is a compound video there that will help you understand part 4. Now, initially you will have problem, but then gradually you'll be fine. Initially you may have 4-5 correct answers, then 7-8 correct answers, then in one test you will get 8 to 9 correct answers, next test you will get 4 to 5 correct answers. But don't worry, don't bother. By the time you reach part 4, and if you follow all these instructions, your understanding of English will be very sharp. You will be a sharp listener, and you will understand each and everything. And then gradually in part 4, you will get 8 correct answers, 9 correct answers. Initially, the speed of part 4 may bother you. But as you go on and on and on, your ears will be tuned in. You will understand that they don't speak fast, they speak fluently. And it is not necessary. I mean, answers are not going to come immediately after one answer. Then there is the audio, it continues. Then there is the next answer. So between two answers, there are some gaps. And these are conversational gaps where they further define the topic. Then they come to the point, give an answer, then they further define the topic. So you will understand each and everything. So remember guys, when the reward is big, the effort is even bigger than that. So the reward of IELTS after getting your desired band and reaching your destination country is bigger than the effort, okay? Effort is bigger, I understand. From your present level of English, you need to reach a certain level. Effort is bigger, but the reward is even bigger, the effort. And once you are going to get the reward, believe me, you will forget all your efforts. I've been teaching IELTS for many years now. I've been teaching for around 25 years now, okay? So I did a lot of effort, but now I've got the reward. So I've forgotten all the effort. I used to work 12 hours a day. I conducted 24 hours plus 1 hour extra non-stop English language class, which is a record in my country. So all the efforts, I worked day and night. I worked come rain or shine, okay? I still remember hot days. I still remember cold days. But now when I've received the reward, I've forgotten all the efforts. So inshallah, like this, you will also forget all the efforts once you're going to receive the reward, and the reward is gonna be wonderful. All the best guys, thank you so much. I also teach IELTS online all over the world, and in campus in Lahore, Pakistan, we offer IELTS test booking service, we offer PTE online classes, we have writing book, we have speaking book, we offer study plans before exam. If you want to get any of these services, you can contact us on WhatsApp. Asad Yaqub wholeheartedly wishes you best of luck. Take care. Allah Hafiz.